to the show. Thank you for tuning in for Deepwater Legends. Today, we have a captain that's a friend of mine. He's from Last Cast Charleston, out of Charleston, South Carolina, a 47 Viking. This is Captain Chase. Welcome to the show, Captain Chase. Thank you for coming in and talking to us about all things offshore fishing in South Carolina.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
No problem.
Hey,
we
how
were trying to get the best captain in the world on the show, but he's temporarily locked up right now. So
Yeah,
we'll go for the second.
I don't think he'd be fishing for a hire for a while, so.
I think it's fair to say you probably yell at kids a lot less often than he does.
Literally never, but yeah, that was wild.
So I've had some considerable time fishing with you and Lance offshore in the last couple years, and you guys are absolutely killing it out here. You guys are really paving a name for yourselves in the Charleston, South Carolina area. Kind of give us some insight into it. First off, a little bit about your background, how you got into it, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, man, pretty wild story, and definitely not the normal upbringing that the kids have around here. I'm born and raised Wild Rose, Wisconsin. I was active duty Army in Colorado for 10 years. As I was getting out, I met Amanda, and she got orders out here. She's active duty Air Force. She got stationed out in Charleston, South Carolina. And at first, I was like, man, I'm going to the South. This is going to suck. But, yeah, so we started scuba diving on a boat club boat out here and doing a lot of bottom fishing near shore, some of the artificial reefs. And we my wife specifically caught a Mahi on accident. And from that moment forward, I went full throttle of trying to target pelagics. And that was in 2016, 17.
So it's fair to say you do a lot more offshore fishing than you did when you were back in Wisconsin.
Yeah. There's no ice fishing out here, which is all right.
Yeah, I could do without the ice fishing. I traded it for much warmer winters, and
I was like,
happy for it.
People dog on it, but it's a good time.
So tell us a little bit about your charter. Where do you guys sail out of? What do you go for? How often are you going? Are you doing 300 days a year?
Yeah, so Lance and I met probably around the same time I first met you, late 2019. I was don't tell anybody. I already got in trouble for it, so it's okay. I was taking a boat club boat out to the ledge, and you have like a 30-mile restriction on the Freedom Boat Club. And I would just delete my waypoints and stuff so they never knew. But I started taking a boat club boat out to the ledge, starting catching some tuna, starting to catch some mahis, kind of figuring it out a little bit. And I made a Facebook post years ago. I'm like, I don't want anybody's numbers like these Wahoo though, or they're eluding me. And Lance, he hit me up. He's like, buy one of those Nomad DTXs and go to this ledge specifically, and don't come back until you catch a Wahoo. Had a really good day, caught a Wahoo and some more tunas. And then he's like, come fish with me sometime on his, he's got a 288 Sea Fox as well. And yeah, from then forward, I was pretty much fishing in Lance's Sea Fox, and then meeting some more people like Mike Abel, fishing with him and other people, and just kind of building my inventory of knowledge of how to target pelagics. And yeah, pretty much 2-3 years into fishing with 2 years fishing with the Lance and the Sea Fox, I was kind of giving him a hard time, telling him like, you buy a bigger boat and I'll start running trips off it. Like we're getting pretty dialed in. And we went to Orlando. That's where iCast was a couple years ago. We went down to Orlando at iCast because Lance sells a bunch of cool fishing stuff. And we went and got lunch at Ponce Inlet, one of the marinas over there. And he pointed at this boat, the 47 Viking, used to be called Horsing Around. He pointed at it. He's like, what do you think about that boat? I'm like, that thing's pretty bad. Like let's go check it out sometime. He's like, well, I bought it, so you better figure out how to run this thing.
Yeah, Lance is an awesome guy, and we're actually going to have him on the show to talk about a lot of his great gear and inventions that he does here in the upcoming weeks. I challenge anybody in the Southeast to get out to the ledge faster than Lance. And that 280 Sea Scout, oh man, like it doesn't matter what the conditions are, Lance makes an hour trip out of it.
Throttle down Lance. Throttle down Lance.
Oh yeah, like going into the trips, I just know my back's going to hurt for days afterwards.
I introduced beanbags to Lance. Everybody used to be on that little bench seat in the back or sitting with him, and I asked him to bring a beanbag one time. He's like, what's that thing for? And from then forward, he never drove the boat anymore. He just wanted to sit in the beanbag.
I don't blame him, and thank you for that. I have many hours on beanbags in his boat, and my back thanks you. So a little bit about your charter. Where are you guys sailing out of? How do people get a hold of you? And And ultimately, what are you guys specialists in? I see your posts all the time. You guys are definitely one of the primary charters down here and just slaying it every day. And we're happy to have you on and talk about it. We see you out there every single time we go, and even days we're not going, we see you sending it and just killing it. Like yesterday, you guys did great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we're at Ripley Light Yacht Club, right across from California Dreamin'. Slip, I think it's A2. Yeah, we're Slip A2, and we're all over web like lastcastcharleston.com, Instagram. Lance loves the TikTok videos, so he does that one. I don't touch TikTok much, but all the live stories and stuff is normally me on Facebook. But yeah, we kicked off charters. I think officially April of 22 was our first like for hire under Last Cast Charleston. Um, and then since then, I think our first year we did like 40 trips, and where we kind of dominated the market, if you will, because nobody was really doing it. At least like advertising, they were doing it. Was walk on charters or open boat charters. It's a big Outer Banks thing, but down here nobody was really doing it. So I'd make a post like, "Hey, we're going offshore next Wednesday. Is looking good. We're going to target tuna, Wahoo, or whatever," and people would pay by the seat, and that kind of helped me twofold because it was building our client base. But then you'd get 6 separate reviews for one trip, so like 6 different perspectives, and most of them became best friends, and a lot of them are my friends to date. We grab a beer at a local brewery probably once a month or so.
And it also
Um,
just makes it so much affordable, especially when you're talking about charters on a significant size boat. It's a 47 Viking. You're talking 4 or 5 grand for a trip. And by being able to break it down into a seat, a lot of guys don't have 6 friends that want to go in on a charter. And it really just makes it affordable and available for a lot of these guys that are dying to get offshore. Maybe they're the only friend in their group that does this kind of fishing. And really allows them to get out there a lot more often. It's great that you guys are doing it, really hammering it down.
yes, sir. Yeah, we specifically focus on meat fish, the tuna, wahoo, mahi. We dabble into the bill fishing, the sailfish, the marlins. 90% of the time we get hired. You know how it is around here. That everybody thinks the prime season is 1 May to June, pretty much the mahi season, and then it kind of tanks out. But Charleston has a year-round fishery out here, and some of my yes, April and May is my favorite, but October, November, the tuna and the wahoo are firing off.
Oh yeah, and as long as you have big enough boat to get out there in these conditions, you're perfectly fine. Like we hammer the wahoo from October until December. Then the last half of the winter, the bite's super hot coming into now, and now the mahi are showing up and ready to go out in full force. I know Troy was out with Alex yesterday, and they
Yeah,
seen tons of small
schoolies.
ones.
Bunch of schoolies under the weed lines and
It's
hauling
awesome.
them up. Yeah.
And then we seen you guys caught a pretty nice one yesterday as well. So the
Yeah,
season's upon us. People got to get ready, get those boats gassed up, fired up, and ready to rock and roll.
it's about to be full throttle for last cast.
So diving right into it, I know we don't really get a lot of like the really big tunas here. However, blackfin tuna are here all the time for the most part until the water gets too warm. You guys are masters of blackfin tuna. What are you doing to get them? What are you looking for? How are you locating them? And what kind of lures, most specifically, are you guys really targeting them with? You hear a lot of different things where people are like, "Oh, I run my spread super close to the boat," and then the age-old thing is like, "Hey, I run my lures far back as possible. They're really boat shy." And then you have guys that are like, "I just run lines and just catch them." So, do you guys find any value in that? What's your tips for success for these regular guys that aren't out there as often as you?
For sure. Yeah, like our prime, like I would say if I wanted to, like if somebody wanted to target blackfin, like you said, it's a year round, but then during the warmer months or the warmer water, they spread way out. It's a yard sale out there wherever they're going to be. But October, November, all the way up until I would say June, they're pretty stacked up, pretty consolidated on the ledges. So I'd focus pretty heavy on the ledges. Sometimes inshore on the live bottom, like 130 feet or so. And the ledges we speak of out here, it's not like the 600 foot ones up north, but it's like 160, 180 foot. Like there's a underwater terrain feature that runs pretty much as far south as South Carolina goes and all the way up to North Carolina. But the 160, 180 feet focus on that. Obviously, some prettier, not like you don't need super blue Gulfstream water for targeting tuna. I actually like that blended blue with a little bit of green in it, but not crazy cold. And like we were talking about, when it's super hot, they kind of spread out everywhere, and you can find them out 400, 500, 600 feet in the summer. We do pretty good out in the depths in the summertime. But the spread, I'm one of those guys. If you can still see it, it's too close. Our our shotgun line, which is the center one way down the pipe, at minimum, and I'm not even exaggerating, at minimum, it's 400 feet back, and it gets bit all the time, and the customers hate me for it. But we're bringing back a box full of meat because of it.
Oh
um,
yeah. And we were talking the other day, joking around about it, and that's specifically where it's like, hey, you have that center shotgun line out, it doesn't get bit for a while. Let the thing out even further. And sometimes when
keep
you
it
let
going.
it out and you're like, hey, this is out as far as it needs to go, let it out another 30 seconds. It can never be
Yep.
out far enough.
Yep. Put it in freeze pool and forget about it for a while, and then it'll be almost far enough back.
So one of the funny things is you guys happen to use an old school lure that a lot of people forgot about, and you're single-handedly bringing it back. You're reaching out to companies. You're like, hey, come out with these with different colors. Tell the people a little bit about what your favorite lure is.
All right, this thing's top secret. Nobody's ever heard about it before. But a black cedar plug will slay anything in the ocean.
I heard
Legit.
they're actually talking about renaming it after you guys. You're buying
The
so many.
last cast plug. But for real, the black one, all black, shiny black too. I don't know what it is about the shiny black, but the matte black didn't. We tried to put black spray paint over the wood cedar plug, and it kind of absorbs it, and it has like a matte finish to it. Doesn't really get bit, but the shiny one, and then as it gets chewed up more. It's kind of interesting. The black and like forest green combo, like blackhead and a really dark forest green, has done really well for us, and you can't go wrong with the naked ballyhoo ever either, too. So it was last Sunday. We were on the Edisto Banks and did a pass, picked up a tuna. I'm like, all right, cool. And of course, it was on the shotgun rod. Did another pass, picked up another tuna on the black cedar plug. Did another pass, picked up another tuna. I'm like, all right, get rid of everything else in the longs and the shotgun except cedar plugs and black ones. And then the pass right after that, we had a triple header blackfin tuna. So there's some, I don't know what it is. I don't know what fish is out in the ocean that's all black and wobbles around, but they love it.
So let me go out on a limb here and ask, what lure are you guys usually running on the shotgun rod?
Black cedar plug.
Get out on the shotgun. I like it.
Yeah.
And what
Yep.
size leader are you guys usually using on these cedar plugs? Are you noticing blackfin being leader shy or anything like that? And then also when you size down leader, you run into the problem. Wahoo comes into the spread, then it's like, oh, you might get more bites on blackfin, but you're going to lose every single one of those bigger fish.
Yeah. So the true, like the Sea Striker wooden cedar plug has actually done really well for us with Wahoo without doing anything like to bite proof it, if you will. But I do like 80-pound fluoro. I have no scientific data from fluoro or mono, so like don't ask me about that. It's just more of a personal preference. And if you have confidence in your spread, you're going to catch fish. That's honestly my thing. If you have confidence of what's going on back there, you're not second guessing everything you're doing that day. So just fire back what you feel good with. But I do like 80-pound fluoro on the cedar plugs. We have those, those metal ones. What's that, red eye or something? Those, uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, whatever. I think it's red eye. We tried some of those, and we started getting bit off a lot. And my hypothesis with it is like, since they're so smooth bore, they can slide really easy. So like, yeah, Wahoo will grab it, and that first initial run, you're good. But once he changes directions, that that cedar plug or that it slides up the line, then snip city and say see you later.
Oh, yeah, on our shotguns all the time. Troy, what do we like to run on the shotguns?
The red-headed slut, man. That's
Behind a
nice.
bird.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what slays them, man, out there.
So we usually use a Magic Tail Outfitters Who Magic. Shout out to Dante at Magic Tail Outfitters. Troy's got one right here.
Not
This
in our
is
color, though.
not our color. All of those are rigged up and on the boat. We carry like 30 of those every time. They come in tons of different sizes, and we run it about 5-6 feet behind a bird, or we'll run it behind a daisy chain, and it just nonstop just gets the action. It's a little bit bigger of a profile lure. It can foul up a lot if you have a lot of grass, so be prepared to reel that sucker in all the time and check it, make sure it's swimming good. But that lands the majority of our fish as well.
For sure.
We don't really run a lot of cedar plugs. Occasionally we do, and recently we had a company send us some cedar plugs that have like a metal cup head on them from Isbit Lures, and those have proven to been really successful and work really well. They swim really well, but overall we don't have as many cedar plugs as you do in the spread on a regular basis. But it seems to be working for you guys like crazy.
Yeah, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I
So
did.
you guys are running them off the riggers and everything.
Yeah. Normally it's just the one down the pipe on the shotgun. Until you start seeing consistencies, and that's every fishing day. If you notice you keep getting hit in naked ballyhoo, and your whole spread's just been swimming all day, start putting more naked ballyhoo out there. It's kind of like that same thought process. That's what I was saying. We got that third one. I'm like, can't do no harm, like firing back two more or one more at least and seeing what's going on. And then you get a triple header and you kind of got them dialed in for at least that little bite period or that day, what they're chewing on. It changes all the time. Like we have a pretty ever revolving spread, but for sure, if I'm at the ledge or less than 500 feet, there's going to be a cedar plug in the shotgun. Absolutely.
Another lure that we've had tremendous luck with down here that we've adapted from up north tuna fishing is side trackers. Both Sterling side trackers and Chatter Lure side trackers work phenomenal, especially if you're on a smaller boat. One of the things people don't really know about them down here or don't really run them that often, but I'd say probably 50% of our fish are on side trackers and the other 50% are on the shotgun. We might as well not run the rest of the spread for the most part. Like we'll occasionally have fish come up and take stuff, and of course the DTX or the bomber always gets nailed from Wahoo, and sometimes really big blackfin. But for the most part, side trackers, shotgun rod is by far the most productive lures running out there on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's probably on your behalf, but I don't know if you noticed that West Marine's carrying those chatter lure side trackers, and I don't know if it was on you. I know you hustle down here for them.
Yeah, so Dante and Chatter Lures teamed up, and they really push out a lot of stuff, and people are really starting to find them and catch on. We don't currently work with Chatter Lures, but hopefully soon Chatter Lures reach out to me. We love your stuff, and Sterling Tackle, same thing. We had a video go like 75,000 views this week on Sterling Wide Tracker, so send us a message. We're cheap.
Which
We use your stuff. We believe in it. But that stuff just really delivers, and really everywhere you go. Like I fished everywhere from Florida, the Carolinas, up north. I fish up in Massachusetts, and everywhere you go, side trackers just deliver. It's just,
produce.
hey, what size baits are we getting on these? Down here, we have a lot of luck with like the smaller machine heads. Up north, like where you have a lot of the bigger tunas, then it's like, hey, let's go with these squids that have the floats inside of them. Let's get a bigger profile bait because we have a lot bigger fish that are out here to get them. But we by far just slay on those things down here. You can't even keep them in the water. Like sometimes they're pain in the butt, they flip, or you're in rough seas, but you just have to adjust what direction you're trolling sometimes in the conditions, slow it down or speed it up. And once you find that sweet spot, it's hard to come off.
Let her eat.
Oh yeah. Now, one of the other fish that you guys just seem to hammer down here at Wahoo, and tell us a little bit about that and what you guys are doing for that. I know you guys catch more Wahoo down here than anyone else I see post online, including yesterday.
I don't know, Bobby Daymaker. He got me. He's the legend. But yeah, Wahoo. We obviously a lot of people high speed troll, and there's the Wahoo series going on right now. The Viking, if we high speed troll, that's a 400-gallon day, and that's just not very cost effective.
Yeah.
However, it is a very effective way to target Wahoo. However, or with that, running a charter, they just want to catch fish and primarily meat fish. So obviously you don't want to catch the cudas and the bonitas and the amberjacks and stuff, but 90% of the time they want to tug on something. And the way to do that is slow trolling. And Lance and I have caught the same number of wahoo slow trolling in a day as we have high speed trolling in a day. And I think it's just more of those bite windows and locations than it is like they want a big ass palmetto lure or something screaming past their face and chasing it down at like 18 knots, you know? Um, and for our wahoos, back to the ledges. Same beat, same zone as the tunas. If I'm catching a bunch of little bonitas and a bunch of little blackfins, I'm okay with beating that to the ground, even though I'm specifically trying to target a wahoo because that's all wahoo food. That's what they're chomping on. And the Nomad DTX, we're a huge proponent of that one. One of my mates is from the Northeast, and like you just said, the Bahamas. They all get bit, the Bahama. But we pulled that and played with that one for a little while too. I don't think we snagged a wahoo on that one yet. But no shit. That black cedar plug on the shotgun, I have probably 20, 30 videos of a wahoo coming over the rail with a cedar plug hanging out of his damn mouth. And yeah, it's just pretty funny, pretty unique. And I think the main part of that is just staying tight, not going too slow, not letting the wahoo charge the boat, and just staying on your anglers and coaching the whole time about not dropping your rod before you're reeling. And yeah, sorry.
I'm going to make sure to get my cedar plug order in before this video goes live, because I imagine the price is going to go through the roof, especially with the price of wood going up. I'm going to have to make sure that we get some.
With your DTXs, what colors are you running with the
Cool.
DTXs?
Yeah, for sure. Black with that purplish pink stripe. That one's been really hot for a lot of years. And then if it slows down, or if we go a half a day without a bite, and then I really like that. It's kind of got like a lighter purple pink belly. And just yesterday we snagged that wahoo on kind of the clear looking one. It's a really unique, like a light blue back, reddish line down the belly or down the side, like the lateral line, and then a clear belly to it. And I just always thought it looked like a pretty bait. Baits catch more humans than they do fish, anyways. But it was a pretty one, and we like to run them pretty tight to the boat. In the prop wash on Lance's Sea Fox at 288, if you got into a steep turn in pretty water, you could almost stare at that thing, and they got creamed off the back of the boat all the time. With the Viking, because of the prop wash being a lot more turbulent, if you will, we have to run it a little bit further back, but gets bit almost as much.
And what size DTXs are you guys usually doing? Are you going right for the 220, the big Papa, or are you going a little bit smaller?
We're big fans of the 2s or the 220s. Honestly, whatever's on the shelf, they last for us a really long time. I know there was a bad batch out there, and some people have had some bad luck with them. But the 2s and 220s, and we like to have the smorgasbord of colors, but definitely a lot of blacks, a lot of pinks. What was that? The bloody mullet one, like the red head, and like the silver body. That was another good one for a while. And we just rig it with 250-pound, 220 to 300-pound leader, whatever's honestly in our leader box easiest to grab, and maybe a 6-foot chunk section of it, and then direct to the snap swivel. And it's so close in the prop wash most of the time that I don't mind the blade, like the orange line being that close to the lure. And a wahoo doesn't care, especially when they're chasing baits at 18 knots that are pink and black, whatever else. I don't think that scares a wahoo too much. Tuna, yes. A wahoo, I don't think that matters.
Very nice. I know one of the things that I picked up from you guys, I was out with you guys, we were doing some wahoo fishing, and I seen Lance and you are running them on mono instead of like the steel leader or cable. And I, not having a lot of wahoo up north, it's like, hey, I come down here. Okay, first things I go buy: Nomad DTXs, bombers, steel cable on everything. Then I go out with you guys, and I'm like, he's running 100-pound leader on these things and not breaking off. And after talking to Lance and like, hey, like, how many of these lures are you losing? Because at like $50 a pop, it's like, this could really add up. He's like, I've never lost one yet. I just change it out every time I feel any kind of chafing on it. We switched over to that, and we seen our catch ratio go through the roof. I actually wrote an article in the Big Game Journal about it, where fish are a lot less shy coming up to these. Hungry fish is always going to eat no matter what you have out there, but when you have fish and they're not cooperating as good as usual, that mono really gets them in and committed a lot better. And I guess because it's such a big profile bait, the teeth aren't really on the line, and just make sure to be proactive and change out that line every time you feel a nick in it, or if you think that you need to change it out, change it out. And we really seen our catch ratios go through the roof of that as well.
Agreed. And I think with that, we rarely get a blackfin tuna flatline bite, but whenever we do, it's normally on the DTX, and I definitely think it's because of the mono on there versus the cable or the wire.
And what kind of speed are you guys usually trolling out here when you guys are beating up the ledge?
I'm generally chilling at 7.5 knots, which is right at 8.5 miles an hour for people that don't convert their graphs over. But honestly, for tuna and wahoo, like everybody high speeds for the wahoo, so there's not a too fast. But my thing is, as long as your spread's looking pretty, you can pick it up a little bit. As long as your sea witches aren't skipping all over the place or washing out your baits like every 15, 20 minutes. I don't mind being at the 9.5 mile an hour range every once in a while. And if as I'm not a huge zigzag over the structure guy. I kind of like run a pass, and as I'm going over it, and I see a nice stack up column of bait, tunas, bonitas, I'll put a red ball literally on my graph, signifying a bait ball. I'll go past it, work like a couple miles on the ledge, and then when I come back up, and then I'll go from like inshore to offshore, offshore to inshore. And if I notice I'm getting bit in the churn, that generally means they're liking it slower and deeper into the water column. Then that'll change up my speed as well.
Awesome advice. So running charters and being out there all the time, I'm sure you run into a variety of different people, whether it's you have people that are really proficient at what they're doing, or you have people puking over the side. Do you have any funny stories or anything about having clients out there, or any tips for other guys that are getting into this?
Honestly, like I haven't had any like egregious stories, nothing bad at all. Like my clients have been awesome. And I think a huge part of that is the whole walk-on thing, because there's 6 different people. So they're all out there to have a good time, but they're also not out there to show their ass too, I think. So they're kind of like minding their P's and Q's. Um, just for anybody trying to get into charter fishing, I say where last cast, Lance and I have had the best success is just being good humans, not being the guy down in Florida chewing ass to that kid for no, like there was a reason. I'm sure there's a reason, but just being a good human. I feel where we capitalize and get these repeat customers and repeat walk-ons is because from the minute we get on the boat, shake hands, show them where the fridge and everything's at, and I do our safety brief. From that moment forward, like they're my best friend. Like they come up the stairs in the bridge with me. I'll turn the second seat around. They can wash the spreads. I'm teaching the whole time I'm up there. When Lance switches over, he's teaching, having great conversation, and everybody's just out there to have a good time, catch some fish, and learn something new.
Do you run into clients pretty often that are like, I'm running the show here, like I'm gonna put the own spread out, I'm going to be driving the boat and all kinds of stuff? You hear all kinds of horror stories out there, and like people
I
think that they pay for
the
the charter, they're the ones doing all the work.
I am the captain now. Nah. Every once in a while they're like, hey, I fished this thing, 10, 15 years ago. It was really good. So they bring a lure or something. And uh, if it's rarely we do a bottom fishing trip, but if we do a bottom fishing trip, they want their own jig and rods and stuff. And they bring their whole arsenal. And I think I kind of just chuckle at it. Um, but no, every once in a while, everybody's got something to say, which is cool. Like, I don't know everything. You don't know everything. Y'all don't like, and I'll listen to something. I'm not automatically going to implement it, but I might put it into my arsenal, my little fanny pack of ideas. Um, yeah, nothing too crazy. And it's funny when people bring a lure because of a report they read, and a lot of the pretty good reports on offshore fishing Charleston are from me. So they're bringing cedar plugs and DTXs. I was like, let's go.
So what's like the average spread of clients? Are you usually getting people that are coming down, they're bringing gear, or are you usually getting the case where you see 5 guys walking down the dock with 5 cases of beer, and you're just like, oh, this is
Oh
one
yeah.
of those days.
Um,
Hearing beers
I was
crack at 5 a.m. and you're like, oh
my
man.
dudes. Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, the coolers. That's the thing. Like, don't bring a big ass cooler to a boat. Doesn't matter if it's a Viking or a 288 Sea Fox. Like, we have a full size fridge. We have a chest freezer in the cockpit. Did they bring coolers? Honestly, I make them suffer with it. They come in the salon and they can trip over it because my mate's got stuff to do back there. It's they don't want to be tripping over somebody's Yetis and all this other crap. But yeah, like I don't know. I've only had one group that we barely left the rocks, and they're already popping Jim Beam and like taking gulps, and I'm just like, bro. But they were a really, really good crew, and they slammed a lot of beer that day. Good for them. And I tell them all, have a good time, have fun. The minute you start getting stupid, I'm just gonna ratchet strap you to the fighting chair, and we're gonna come home. We're gonna call it. And then everybody checks their own. They police up their own people. But we get back. It was a pretty good day. Um, we get back, and this one dude, he was lit. And we have a tiki tour pontoon boat right next to us, and they were out doing a tour. And he steps off the gunnel onto the dock, and his buddy's like, "That's the old tuna two-step right there," because he goes straight into the drink. I'm like, well, no longer my insurance possibility. Yeah,
That's
that was
hilarious.
a good day. Good crowd, but I can't believe they were slamming Jim Beam like that.
So what kind of fuel
Good
burn
for
are you
them.
guys getting on your Viking out there? We see you out there, you guys are cruising really good. It's a perfect boat for out here in any condition. Like a lot of times we're shooting out of the inlet at the same time. We got our rain gear
Yep.
on. You're up there partying. I see the lights going, the music's blasting. It's like, oh man, like we can't hear the winds going. What kind of fuel burn are you getting in comparison?
So the Viking is a 1998 47 Viking. We got twin 800 Mayans, and at cruise, which is 25 knots, we're getting right about 60 gallons an hour. So our average day offshore is anywhere from 320 and 350 if Lance is coming home because he opens her up a little bit. But also depending on how far we go. But 60 gallons an hour, super smooth, super enjoyable. I don't even think you've been on the Viking yet for a fishing day, but it is really nice on the semi questionable days to be in a 47-foot boat that weighs 50,000 pounds because I put the RPMs at 17 or 1850 and set the autopilot and watch out for turtles because I don't have to worry about the swells really, unless it's really not like crazy out there. But then you get hindsight, you get the flat days, and here comes you and Alex zooming on past us.
Yeah, it's a
But
give or
I got an
take.
AC. It is. Well, we have AC in the salon and stereos everywhere, and everybody gets to sleep on the way out and the way back versus get beat up.
Luxurious, definitely.
You broke up just for a second. Say again.
Oh, I said that's luxurious,
Oh yeah,
compared to being out on center console boats.
it's a game changer, and just the ability to pull a bigger spread. I don't want to say more effectively, like at you and Alex and on Lance's Sea Fox, we're still slinging 8, 10 rods behind the boat with minimal tangles, but having 35-foot riggers and elevator bridge, I'm able to almost call the shots when it's mahi season. Just like yesterday, we came through next to a weed line, and I was able to look under it pretty good. I'm like, yeah, there's two of them in there. And I'm like, left side, just watch the left side real quick, and you see this cow come bulldozing out of it, just coming into the teaser. She fades back. I thought she was going to hit the left short, but the planer was right below her, and she hit it, doink, and fish on it. Everybody's like, damn, Cap, you call that?
Yeah, when it's
Fun
so
scene.
clear out there, you can see them a mile away. It's
Yeah,
perfect. Same with when you
love
have
it.
billfish come into the spread, and that's one of the reasons that center console boats just aren't as effective at catching marlin, sailfish, and stuff offshore. Not that it can't be done, but there's just so many more advantages of having that extra vision line, being up top, having inboard diesel motors, less prop wash, stuff like that to really entice the bite and know exactly where they are, especially when you have the deep baits back and stuff like that. You're not just waiting for it to come.
Yeah, for sure. That prop wash thing, I think, is huge. Because we're able to get our dredges into cleaner water. Our long lines are in the pretty, pretty blue water, and our flats might be in the whitewash just a little bit. But after the flats, my dredges, my teasers, shorts, and longs are all in like pretty clean water. But I mean, even with the center console, you can not mitigate it, but work with it type deal. And just that's where I would do more S turns and more turn in type deal just to keep like my right flat in clean water for a little while, then my left flat or my teasers and things like that.
So we know that that you used to not be in charter fishing, and now you are, and you seem much happier than you used to be when you were a police officer. What kind of advice do you have to guys that are like, hey, I dream of getting offshore. I dream of eventually running these charters and like how to make it happen? Is it something you suggest? Well, it's obviously not easy. It's hard work. You got to be out there all the time. It's not all just like pictures of the fish at the dock. It's the days when they're not biting. It's the days when the conditions are bad and you feel like puking. It's waking up at 3 a.m. to prep baits and fuel boats and working on your day off and staying out till 10 p.m. After a trip to clean the boat. What kind of advice do you have for those guys that are really like, hey, I dream of switching careers, maybe switching areas. Maybe they're coming from middle America. They're like, I really want to make this happen. What's been critical to your success and taking care of business and getting it done?
But I'll tell you the key is not the key. My biggest benefit is just being a good human and networking. It, I pretty confident there's not a person in Charleston that would say anything foul about me. They could say like I'm not from South Carolina, I'm not from the Low Country, and uh, haven't been here forever, so shouldn't be running charters. But that's nothing foul. Like I'm just be a good human. Networking. I'd go down the dock and just help people out whenever needed. They come in, throw them a dock line. And like I said, I wasn't raised into this and didn't have that name for myself. So just meeting people, shaking hands, showing them when we go out there, we capitalize. And my clients would never say anything bad about us, but capitalizing on those moments and controlling all the things you can control. You can't control the bite. If the bite sucks, the bite sucks. But having that good relationship and good mates and Lance and I talking to the customers and having a good time. And if you can get a customer to come back after catching one bonita all day, like you did something right other than just fishing. Um, and they also know who you're and what you're capable of. But it's a grind. Anybody want to try to start it out and not being from an area, you're gonna put some hours in and learn a lot of stuff or you should learn a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. One of my mates gave me a hard time for it, but I learned a lot of crap on YouTube. And then when I met Lance, and then he had a way, and then I fished with Mike Abel, and he had a way, and then I see you on the boat, and then you have a way, and just making all these. It's like information overload, but then seeing and implementing what's worked and uh, yeah, kind of going on a little ramble right there, but I learned a lot of crap on YouTube.
I do the
I'd be,
same thing.
I would be in my garage. I built a rod holder literally into my workbench, and I figured out the Bimini twist after about 1,000 yards of mono. I figured out spider hitches and all these cool knots and everything. Not cool, they're effective. They have their task and purpose, but I wasn't raised into it like a mate that's been fishing with a daymaker and taught from the legend. So I've been watching these videos trying to self-teach. And so if I ever get thrown into a situation like, hey, can you jump in my pit one day? Which has happened. I'm like, yeah, I got you, man. And I don't look like a turd.
Oh yeah, networking has really been critical to my success as well. Anywhere that I go or people that I fish with, I just try to pick up something, and even if it's someone that like my main purpose of being there is to try to help them get better. Sometimes you see stuff that you're like, oh, I never would have thought of this, or they may have um, like a little piece of knowledge that maybe you didn't, and sometimes stuff just happens by accident. You're like,
Yeah.
holy smokes, like this is tremendous, and being able to just take different opinions and actions and spreads from different people and ways to rig stuff and really get out there and find a way to use it in your spread. One of these ways is like split nose value. So you have people that love them and people that hate them.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to never do them. I used to just use like pin rigs and stuff like that, throw them out there. Then I go on a couple boats and they're running all split nose values, even behind like Joe Shoots. And it's like, you're getting twice the bites. Like these fish are running way better behind your spread. Like, okay, so now every single one of them is one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to adapt for sure. Like the fish bite something different every day and different techniques and stuff. But yeah, back to the charter grind. Like a 12-hour fishing day for the crew is not 12 hours. You're waking up at
Never.
3:10. I always hit up the gas station. I got to get my watermelon Sour Patch Kids. And I grab 12 bags of ice from the or from the ice house, and now I'm at the boat at like 4:10 or so. The boat for us, we normally prep it all the day before, the ballyhoo and everything. So like the morning of, maybe we got to top off the water, obviously double check the fluids of the engines, and then fire them up so they're not smoking, because they're old mechanical, so they're not smoking when the customers get here. And then do the safety brief, 2.5 hour ride out, fish all day, get sunburnt, get torched, come back, 2.5 hour ride in, clean the fish, mate's cleaning the boat, at least getting all the salt away, and actually scrubbing her down. Then we the cockpit's pretty much cleaned up by the time we get home. That's kind of another benefit of the Viking. The cockpit's done, like all the rods and reels are stowed and stuff, but clean the fish, button up the boat. If we're going back to back, it's not as put everything away. So there's like Lance isn't coming down here with family with rods and bloopers and stuff hanging out all over the place. And generally the customers want to get back, get their fish and be gone. So then the boys and I, we run over to Shim Creek, go get fuel. That's in 30 minutes there, 20 minutes at the pump, 30 minutes back. So we're pretty much leaving the Viking at like 8. Uh, yeah, on a good day, pretty much like 8 o'clock. Yeah, and that's just a fishing day. Those are the easy days, I think. They're long, but those are the easy ones. The prep days, like we just did spring cleaning because we did a whole charter season last year, and finding hooks here, there, like reorganizing the boat. She's an older boat, but she still shines pretty good. So every couple months, doing a good wax job on her. Obviously the 200-hour services, making sure everything's up to date, all safety stuff for the being Coast Guard compliant. So when you get boarded, you're good to go, and you don't look like a turd again in front of your customers. Like, oh, you're missing this and that and the third. Like, no, we're good. Um, and then the networking, like you see me on Facebook all the time. Everybody's like, hey, looking for a charter, and boom, I try to blast them. I make it personal. Like, hey, what are you trying to target first? And if they're like, oh, I just want to catch red drum, I'm like, all right, cool, I got some guys for you, and kick them over to that. And then if they're like, oh, we want to go offshore, then I'll message them privately, and hey, this is our program, this is what we do, this is what we cost. And they're like, that's a little much, or we want to go offshore, but we want to bottom fish. Like, cool, I got a guy for that. And having that network is huge, because the more you start kicking charters over to somebody else, it's going to come back like 100%. And if it doesn't, that's a guy you eventually don't kick charters over to. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think what's funny is it never fails. We have one of the best tackle shops in the area, Hatterell's. I don't think I have been there yet and not ran into you. I swear, like at one point I thought you worked there also. Like I could see a video of you like offshore that day. I'm like, oh, I got to go down and get ballyhoo. You're already in there.
Yeah, it is a really good tackle shop. The boys that run it now, like their dad started it up, and it's a family. When I got out here and I was trying to catch a damn trout, and I'm like, I'm a Wisconsin, Colorado dude that knows how to ice fish. Like, teach me about this pop and cork thing. And they're like, all right, cool. Here's a little combo. Like they talk to. It doesn't matter if you're going to go in there and spend $20 or outfit a brand new Viking. Like they're going to talk to you like a human and treat you the exact same.
And their gear selection is just out of this world for a local tackle shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
It stinks because we don't have tons of tackle shops here, but what doesn't stink is Hatterell's has 2 locations, and
They have it all.
everything at both. Like
Yeah.
anything that you can need, from swordfish baits all the way down to teasers, lures, bottom fishing, inshore fishing, clothing. They have it all. Like they put Bass Pro to shame.
They do, and they're good people.
Yeah,
You're
and
not just- My big thing is like yes, of course, support local, but if they just treat you like a human and not like a paycheck, then we're gonna be good. You know?
and it also helps that your picture's blasted all over the side of the building. It's a pretty good picture.
Yeah, I was on Mike's boat. He's got a 32 regulator. He went 3 for 3 last year on blue marlin the same day we were out there. Like, oh my lordy, he crushed it. But I pitched my first blue marlin off his boat, and that's not why I got that damn picture. But I think they were just trying to outfit the boat or outfit the shop with some new product up front. And I mean, I'm not a bad looking dude, so
It's a pretty damn good picture, man. Magazine worthy.
yeah.
Looks like your thousandth marlin.
Yeah.
You look like a pro.
Yeah, that was a good day. That's
So what kind of fish do you like to target the most out here? Is there anything that you're like, you get a charter, and they're like, we want to target what you do the very best at. That you're just like, I know exactly where we're going, what we're
I mean, meat fishing. I don't want to say it's the easy way, but I love mahi. Mahi are awesome. They're pretty. They jump. They eat great, and everybody gets fired up when you catch a mahi. I wasn't with Mike, but Mike, when they went 3 for 3 on blue marlins, the customer's like, "So we're gonna catch something that we can eat today?" And I'm like, "What?" But I love targeting mahi. Um, but whenever I get a customer that's like, "Bill Fisher bust day," I'm like, all right, so it's blue marlin and sailfish. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna pull the dredges, and I'm learning. The boys are learning. Circle hook fishing's a totally different finesse game, and it's really fun. It's really enjoyable, but it's also extremely frustrating. And the more the boys do it, the more reps we get. So, right, I literally told my boys like April 15th when the mahi should ish be here. We're going to start pulling some circle hooks on the longs just to get the reps because just behind the mahi or the marlin, and then we have a whole summer of sailfish season. So get your reps in, practice with that, get all the backlashes out of the way early in the season, and just go start tearing them up. But if I had to pick a fish forever, it'd be a mahi for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we have the luxury of. We do primarily just fun fishing. We're out there filming, stuff like that. So we're really just out there to get the fish. What stinks with that sometimes is like you come back with nothing. You're pulling big baits. You're going far. You're going to like, hey, we got to go where these big fish are, but there's not the numbers of fish. So like with charters, you don't really take those kind of risks that often because you have to deliver for the clients and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But I know for us specifically, it's hard sometimes. You're like, hey, this is 2 trips in, we haven't gotten a swordfish, but then it's like trip 3, bam.
Here it comes.
You know, you break one off at the boat, and then you cry for a couple weeks.
Until the next trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do on like the exceptionally hard days? You're out there, we've all had them, where you can't even pay for a bite. You're just up there. It's hot, no wind. You're just like, oh my gosh. What are you guys changing up to try to change the odds in your favor? And have you found anything specifically helpful during those times?
Um, Before I make a huge change, I'll ask the customers. Like, I normally know ahead of time, like, what's your end state? Like, go out for a really cool boat ride and catch some cool stuff, or if it's like we want to fill the freezer, like it's got to be filled. Like, I'm spending all this money, like we're bringing something home to show for it. So if it's like a no crap, like they want to bring food home and it's like 11 and we've been grinding, then we'll switch the gears and take them bottom fishing if they want to. But there's also those customers like troll or die, and I'm about that life. I can troll until the lights turn off, and I would even leave the spinning reels here if I could. But yeah. So if it's a group that wants to troll for sure, and I like another cool thing about the network system and having good people on your side is like I can text a buddy that like I can text you on your inReach if you're at Georgetown Hole. You're like, yo, we're slaying them today, and I'm all the way down to Edisto Banks. Like I'm not gonna make that move all the way. What is that like? 50 miles from Edisto Banks to Georgetown. It's far, but I'll try to find a better. I'm like, all right, cool. What's your water temperature? What's your clarity looking like? Try to find a similar piece of water at least closer up to you. I could make that move, but with that move becomes more fuel. So here comes a 400-gallon day starts creeping. So, and then when it comes to the spread, if we've been trolling, you remember like early last season when the Mahis were like super lazy? It was right after like the first push, and then it was like I want to say the first week or two of May. I was watching Mahis come barrel into the spread and look at us and then fade out, which makes you think obviously you're not pulling what they want. And if I start seeing stuff like that, then I'll tone it down like a small naked ballyhoo or like a smaller chugger or like a smaller profile. If you throw one of those like micro cedar plugs out there and you don't get bit, like there ain't nothing around you. Like you got to make a move. But yeah, just start switching up the spread, um, toning it down, and then honestly, that if you're in Ghost Town, USA, and haven't caught nothing, then yeah, you kind of got to make a move. You can't ever go wrong with fishing the ledges, even when the mahi season last year was very weird. I always fish a ledge on the way out, hopefully snag up a tuna or a wahoo, if not a few, like fill the box almost. And if it's that good, I ain't leaving. I'm just gonna beat that place to the ground. But then I'm like, all right, cool, let's go out deeper. So I'll troll out to Memorial or wherever the next temp breaks at that we find on our sea surface shots. And if it's dead, come back to the ledge and then fill the box again. You're like, well, I shouldn't have ever left the damn place.
I know when the fish are lazy, one of the things that is really helpful for us and probably not as doable for you guys is we usually try to take out some live bait and just have some like number 4 ringed owner gorilla hooks and just toss it out there because yeah, they may not commit to a ballyhoo, but every single time they take it back, they're
Oh
going to
yeah.
snatch something like that. Same with the Ron Z's with the tails, cast some of those out towards the weed lines. Last year I was out on a trip with No Limits and Dante was out there and I personally witnessed Dante outfish the trolling spread with a popper off the bow. Like as we were trolling, he was casting a popper out, outfish the trolling spread every time. It was such a pain in the ass though because his line would like come zip up past the boat,
Yeah.
and then as soon as he'd hook into like yellowfin tuna, it's like okay, well get all these lines in now.
Yeah. Clear the spread.
In like an hour and a half, this guy got 3 of them on a popper, and it was like as we were trolling, it was like this is
Yeah.
insane. We didn't even
That's
get a
awesome.
sniff on any of the other lines,
That's
and
awesome.
honestly, it just makes it to where now I got a popper rigged up and we're casting it out all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Mahi season, just like you said, like if you come up to a weed line and you see the school down there, like yeah, we don't have a live well on this boat, but obviously we our old ballyhoo, we'll just say we'll dice them up, throw them in a bag, and throw them in the freezer. So then the next day, boop, there's your chunk bait. You get into a weed line, you see them down there, they're just not hitting that trolling bite. Then yeah, start chunking to them, little bucktails with a like a gulp or something on there. I don't get too fancy with it. Like mahis, when they want to chew, they'll eat the damn hook off the back of your boat. Literally pulling baits off your riggers when you're fighting another one. So much fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. We lost a monster mahi like a season and a half ago. Biggest one I've ever seen in person. Actually, it was on one of these,
Heartbreak.
straight
Heart,
down the middle, and we
heartbreak.
just seen it jump. It had to be a 50 or 60 pounder,
Hmm.
and it just got so much leverage on the daisy chain, just threw it. And it was like, oh, such a killer, man.
Those are the worst. Those are the
Yeah,
worst.
the ones that keep you up at night when you lose a big one.
Yeah. That's another,
Now,
like, every fisherman, like the night before, like if you're serious about it, you're staring at the sea surface temperatures. You're looking at all the reports. You're staring at the chlorophyll. You're like, all right, cool. This water was down here like 2 days ago. And then you go to sleep, but you're not asleep. You're just like, well, if I go out there and that weed line's not there, that break's not there, then this is gonna be my next move. Like, you don't sleep if you like this stuff. There ain't no sleeping.
oh yeah, and with us not being a charter, so fuel burn's not really something that we take into that much consideration because we're not out there to make money on it. There's so many times when we're like Georgetown Hole, and then we're like, oh, it's updated. Looks like Charleston Lump. Okay, guys, we got an hour and a half run. Pull the lines in, and just going out there. But I think like probably the most disheartening kind is in the morning. You see where the breaks are, but then the wind and conditions. Like I can't get north or I can't get south. It just stinks because you have to just kind of think outside the box and how we can manage to get somewhere that's like the second best option because you're
Yeah,
just going
for
to
sure.
take a pounding running 100 miles straight into it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we kind of get blessed with the Viking on that one. If there's water there, we can go get it. But I, yeah, I remember the center console days. You're taking the spray to the side the whole time. You're like, nah, we're going to the hole. Or if it's coming from the northeast, which we rarely go, but nah, we're gonna work south. But yeah, I would head out to whatever angle was the most comfortable, and then try to troll down into that water, because then you're just taking it to the face. But yeah, we that's a luxury of 50,000 pounds.
Oh yeah, like some days I'm out there. I wish I had 2 sets of Grundens on. You're like Grundens
Yes.
made gloves, and the next day everyone's got the gloves.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
if I was any wetter, I might as well swim.
Yeah. That's it. Like you were saying earlier about the winter fishing, like when the wind does die down, it's still cold as hell out there. So when you get wet, that's a long day in the winter, especially that ride home.
Oh yeah, now we have Troy on the boat. He ran a season up in Homer, Alaska last year, doing charter fishing for halibut and salmon. And the whole time he's like, this isn't cold. Alaska in the summer's cold.
Yeah,
And then 5 minutes later, he's like, oh, this is cold and wet.
this kind of sucks actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's been like your favorite catch down here? Have you caught anything that's been like significantly larger than anything else? Have you had anything super notable? I know you said you caught a couple blue marlin. You
Mhm.
guys are constantly getting sailfish and stuff. What's been like your favorite fish that you caught since you've been down here?
They got 3, one's personal and 2's family. So the picture at Hadrill's, my first pitched blue marlin, that was just, oh my god, it's a dream come true. And it was so textbook that it almost made marlin fishing look easy. uh, and like I was fishing with Mike, um, and he has the dredge booms with the the Gemlux dredge booms, and he does full billfish spread on his 32, two double dredges, 2 chains, 2 flats, and 2 longs. That's all he fishes, and that's mostly how 90% of the bill fishing guys have a spread, maybe a plug out there or something. But the dredge boom like had a weird like to it, like it just wobbled. And Mike's like, well, that was weird, and just like hits the LPs, it starts coming up, and all of a sudden the teaser goes like, oh shit, like and then this blue is just beating the snot out of the teaser, and he's like hand lining. He's got the pancake reels. He's like reeling. He's like, somebody throw the pitch, and I'm like, I've never done this before, but I'm like, I watched enough videos. I'm like, oh, pitch is already in the water. I'm like, it's already out there, and then it's skipping. He fades off the teaser, smokes the pitch bait, and he's like, feed him. I'm like, it's about to come out his ass. I've been feeding him so long. Slowly come tight. I'm not trying to like mess it up for Mike or me. Slowly come tight, and this dude just goes ballistic. And the luxury of a center console, he just yeets the squid chain on the T top, and I get to the bow, so we're not backing down to it, but just idling forward. And oh my god, it was such a cool fight. And got the leader to the rod tip, and we actually got to the blue marlin boat side, which, as you know, sometimes that's when they kind of go ballistic and go crazy and they pop them off. But Mike leadered them up, and we got that epic shot. And man, I had I can't really say it. I was really excited. But yeah, and that was my first blue that I personally caught. My second favorite fish is my mom's. I got her first sailfish. This was 2 Novembers ago, and I knew it was a little late in the season, but it was my family was already in town. I set up a walk-on day. Who was it? Drake. He's done numerous walk-ons with me. Drake was with James Strange that takes the awesome photos. Like he was with. Um,
His
just such a
photos are
good day.
incredible.
Yeah, Jameson, one of my older mates now. He's got a big boy job. He's welding now, and mom, dad, and my sister, and we were fishing. And we were kind of dodging thunderstorms all day. I'm like, today's not going to actually happen. Got into a really good tuna bite actually, but I wanted to get out to at least the memorial a little bit, some prettier water. But there's just a thunderstorm just parked on top of it. And I'm like, well, we're going to beat this place to the ground and have a good time with it. And during the safety brief, I'm like, hey, y'all can have every fish, all of them. But if we hook a sail, or when we hook a sail, it's got to be confident, it's got to manifest the energy. I'm like, when we hook a sail, if you grab that rod, I'm going to punch you in the no-nos, and I'm going to give it to my mom. Like, my mom's fighting that sailfish. And it was her turn already in the roster, and Mike was with. Man, Mike's part of my stories a lot, but hit the flat line, and we're J-hook fishing, so you generally don't have to feed him. But Mike is billfish 101 in his head, so he feeds everything, comes tight, and the sail jumps. I'm like, let's go, like freaking out, having a good time. I got to back down with the Viking, which if you don't meat fishing, you never back down, but got to back down. Got to the leader. It put on another nice little jump next to the boat, and we got him all the way boat side. And mom got her sweet shot as well. And that one's forever ingrained in my head because getting my mom her first billfish was sick.
That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of times it's not really about the fish. It's like who you're with, what the
The moment.
environment is. I know one of my favorite times fishing ever was actually vertical jigging with you guys. We were out there that day, and we had a bunch of different people on the boat on Lance's Sea Box. And oh my gosh, we put a hammer down on those fish, and we probably got sharked every other fish.
Dude, we lost so many jigs that day.
The most I've ever lost in a day. We probably
So
lost
expensive.
20 or 30 jigs.
So expensive.
But it was such a fun time, and I swear every other fish was getting sharked. And like 5 minutes later, I look over, you're jumping off the side to go for a swim because it's super hot. It's like you realize we just got sharked here like 20 times the last hour and a half.
They're full now, hopefully.
Holy, can't even get up.
Yeah, yeah, man. I love it offshore. That's like legit my happy place. And as a veteran, it's kind of like one of my like my not my escapes, but like you need to be. I just need to be doing something. And fishing, you're always doing something. And if you're just uh, I'm not even talking about charters. Just if you're out there fishing, just staring at your graph and not looking what's out there, yeah, you might trip on something. But you're actively scanning for weed lines, birds, fish blowing up, looking at your depth finder, watching your thermostat, making sure the boat's not going to blow up, all that, all the stuff. And I'll, it's legit my happy place. It could be the worst fishing day ever, and like I said, come back with a skipjack, or fill the box and have all the social media stuff you need for the rest of the year. It's always a great day. It's a grind, and I love
Oh
it.
yeah. And thank you for your service. And as a veteran myself, I also agree that it's very important for these vets to get into fishing and stuff that they like. And fishing especially is a good way for them to kind of overcome obstacles that they had, overlook like, hey, maybe you're going through a hard time. A good day offshore or even inshore or just out there with your buddies is a good way to relieve stress. And it's been proven through industries like the TFO, the Fallen Outdoors. They're
Mhm.
excellent on getting people out there fishing. One of my friends, Greg Carlson, down in Florida, shout out to you, Greg, does a great job on setting veterans up on cost-free trips with different charter captains out there. I know they have TFO organizations in every state and region. They really do a great job on setting up these trips and really supporting the people that sign the blank check. And regardless of what they did in the service is important. Now you have some guys that really had a hard time in the military, and it's especially important for those guys to really find these
100%.
avenues of support and get out there. And with like-minded guys like you, where veterans can come out, go on your trips, have a guy that's an Army Ranger, and be able to really relate to you, and also get out there with a good crew of good guys like you and Lance are some of the best guys in the industry. You're approachable, nice, and good at fishing, so it's a triple threat. And I highly recommend to everyone that is in the area, or if you're traveling to the area, reach out to these guys. Now, unfortunately, I know you will be moving here shortly, or you're heading out to the Midwest. Your wife just got restationed out there, so you'll be doing a lot of cornfield
Womp
trolling,
womp.
for freshwater stuff. But from what it sounds like, you're going to still be traveling out here to run some trips and stuff. How is that something that people can still book with you? Are they able to reach out and be like, "Hey, we want to book this trip. When can we get you to fly out here to run these
Yeah, man.
trips?" You are an
Um,
awesome guy. I love fishing with you. I'm sure everyone else that's looking for a great time out there and to catch a bunch of fish would love it as well.
yeah, if I could replug another veteran organization, it's local here. It's Hook, Line, and Heroes. We just did our fourth trip with them yesterday, and I first met Mr. Allen years ago when my buddy was going through a really hard time, going through a divorce. You see that a lot in the military. You see it a lot everywhere, but it's just, obviously when it's your friends from Afghanistan, it seems to hit you home too because you knew their wife and their family too. But I was just literally looking up like something for veterans to do near Charleston, and it was like Folly Warrior Surf. They do that surf camp out there. I'm like, nah, he wouldn't like that. But then I saw Mr. Allen's Hook, Line, and Heroes. I made an application for him, and since we deployed together, Alan let me go inshore fishing with them as well. And his big thing is like when you're hooked up or when you're casting, like you're not thinking about any of the BS that you went through or any of the crap that's going on in your life right at that moment, especially when you hooked up. And like it didn't hit so hard home until yesterday. I had three of my buddies from Afghanistan, my first deployment, and that deployment sucked. And a lot of the guys that came yesterday, like they had a tough break getting out and alcohol and substance abuse and stuff, and they cleaned up, and I'm super stoked for them. But my buddy Huggy yesterday, he went through a really tough time, but he was hooked up to tuna, a stud one on the shotgun, and he's already been reeling in fish all day. He's like, man, he's like, I saw hay fire barbecue through that one. He's like, can I get in the chair? Because normally I like the chair's for Marlins for me, but I'm like, yeah, man, get in the chair. But that dude was sweating, almost crying. You know how it is. They're double fisting the reel, like, but like the thing I thought about was Alan saying the only thing you're thinking about is just you and that fish. That's it. So anyhow, slight plug with Alan. He's such a beautiful soul. I'm not sure if y'all met, but you really do need to meet sometime.
Yeah, definitely shoot me a message and connect us after this. We'd love to have him on the show and talk about what he's doing and help get his message out there.
And he's been on so many charter boats out here too. Another good resource. He takes guys up like the Outer Banks, Charleston. He fishes with Four Sons quite a bit. Since we kicked off this program, I really told Alan, like, what you did for my buddy Lee, like, I want to be able to contribute some of that as well. So we've done some charters on here, inshore, offshore. I think they had a group at Lake Murray yesterday catching stripers or rockfish, you weirdos. And then
I always love it. People are holding up these striped bass from Lake Murray. It's like a 10-pounder. They're like, it's the biggest one ever. And then now that I live down here, I show them a picture of like a 50-pounder we caught in the ocean up north. They're like, where did you get that?
Still in the Bahamas. But yeah, catching up with us. Our May's actually getting really booked, and my wife will probably kill me if I get even more booked, but it's going to happen. I love it too much. Because we, like you said, we're packing up, leaving for Oklahoma for about 3 years. And I do plan on coming back quarterly because there's a couple private boats that I'm on and they want to keep fishing with me. So I'm going to try to make an announcement. The walk-on page and the last cast page is going to stay alive. So I'm going to try to make an announcement like, hey, I'm going to be in Charleston, July, whatever to whatever, and do a couple trips with the private boats and also try to get another one on this because the sitting boat's a dead boat too, and Lance knows that. He won't yell at me too much on those hours.
Hey, Lance, I'll run some trips. We'll get it.
Yeah. But I mean, cool thing for Lance is he's in November. He's going to take the Viking down to the Caribbean for however long he wants to because Lance gets to do Lance things.
Yeah,
And
that's incredible, and I can't believe how many fish flags he's selling. If you guys
he is
need catch
crushing the
flags,
fish flags.
if you guys need catch flags for showing your catch coming back in, Lance does custom catch flags with your boat name on them, and they're incredible. The quality of them is outstanding comparing to like the standard catch flags that a lot of places have that feel like real plasticky and stuff. These are really high quality. They look really nice. Just don't leave them up overnight in Ocean City. It'll get nailed to the dock.
I didn't tell you I got my first nailing to the dock this last year.
Really?
Poor Chase, yeah. And if we had a plan, no, I have a pretty good idea, but it's all a good game. It's all a good play. But yeah, obviously I think we released a sail that day and buttoned up the boat, let it hang overnight, and Lance was supposed to be here in the morning, and he was. So but he spaced it. He could care less about a sailfish. But he left, and then I came. He's like, "Hey, I forgot to take your flag down." I'm like, "Oh no!" And I like drove here as fast as I could. I'm like, "Oh no, somebody took it down." And I looked below, right at the right on the dock, and that thing was screwed in. I'm like, "No." They got me.
Oh yeah, you had to retire that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys are constantly came up with a really good idea. When people are catching their first fish, you guys pull the flags down, sign them for the people, date them, give them to people. Now, are you guys also following through with making people jump into the water when they catch their first fish?
Most of the time, yeah. The last few have been older individuals, and I don't want to force them into the water or have that legal obligation. I mean, Ripley's a nice marina, so if whoever wants to jump in, they can jump in. But I also give them the option too, if like you want to jump in offshore, because I'll go to a place that doesn't have bottom fishing numbers, and there shouldn't be a shark, so you should be fine. But yeah, we do a couple little things, like you said. We signed the flag form, and that's a really cool. Mike did it for me, and so it's not our idea, but kind of just passing that down. But my mom, she has hers at her office, and then a picture with her next to her sailfish, right, like pretty much attached to it, and it's a really cool talking piece, and it's a piece you're gonna have forever too.
It's awesome.
But also I got a bottle of rum. It's Frigate Reserve, not like no association, but I thought it tasted really good, and it's got the frigate on there, so it's cool. So like everybody gets a swig of the Frigate Reserve after their billfish offshore, and we have a good time with it. Like, yeah, keep it memorable.
And now I'm just going to mention it. I know you guys use a lot of Fathom lures. You're a connoisseur of fine fishing lures, and when I was on the boat the other day, I seen some really badass ones. Feel free to plug them if you want. Those
Oh,
guys are great.
I
Their stuff
am.
runs good.
I am a Fathom fanboy through and through, and it's not because they hooked me up or whatever, but like again, it's another company that I never felt like a number. Once I find those companies, I kind of stick with them no matter what. If I'm just a paycheck to them, then I don't care about you. I'll pull a cedar plug then. But Fathom has some really great products, and this goes back to when I was fishing on the 24 cobia. Um, Micro spread, like using outrouters, using the side trackers. But then I'd have those like Fathom bird chains and the Fathom squid chains, and they're smaller than the Sterling or the Chowder lures one. So that was a little bit more enticing for me using fishing with a freaking spinning rod, like a 10K, trolling that thing with a bird chain behind it like an idiot. But yeah, started with them, and then just because I wanted to show my catch, and since day one of catching a mahi, I've always wrote a fishing report, and that comes through to today. Even as a charter captain, and I know I upset people about writing such good reports, but 98% of the dudes that are on there are weekend warriors or guys that only get out once a month. So if I can help them catch 1, 2, 5, 20 more fish, then high fives. Like
That's
cool. Like
exactly why
you
we do
smacked it.
this. That's
Yep.
exactly why we do this whole thing is because like a lot of people aren't as fortunate to be out offshore as much as us, and like
Hmm.
I didn't learn to do this thing alone. I had a lot of great guys that I fished with over the years, put thousands and thousands of hours in, and really had a lot of impact on me coming from Pennsylvania, just like Troy. We didn't have the option to like saltwater fish as often as we wanted, just on vacations and stuff like that. And having guys getting into this, the sport's incredibly expensive. There's so much to learn, and by having people kind of guide them in a way that's like, hey, now I can be at least a little less deterred because I can
Hmm.
go out there and have a fighting chance. Because sometimes you
Yeah.
see like people that get bad information. That's the worst. That's what makes me madder than anything is when I
Yep.
see someone online telling something that's completely not true.
Yeah.
Or you see like a kid fishing in a pond with a bobber and like a rubber worm. It's like, hey, like let me give you a little
Let
bit
me
of
help you
insight
out.
here on
Yeah.
what's
Help
something
them
that's
out.
going to do it. And it's a huge ocean. Fish swim. They're everywhere, and there's
They're
plenty for
gone.
everyone. And I love like giving advice to someone, whether it's someone I never met on the internet or someone that I seen at the dock, and I was like, hey, like this is generally where we're going. This is what we're using. This is how fast we're going. And then later on, you hear them look you up, and they're like, "Oh my god, thank you so much!
I
Like
got my
this
first
really,
mahi or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly. Like we have
it's
people
just,
like that reach out from everywhere, and it's absolutely excellent. It's almost a better feeling than going out like catching a fish myself when you have someone that like never caught a wahoo and all of a sudden they're like, I read your article in Big Game Journal and I went and used that technique and I came back with 3 of them. Like, thank you so much. Or I
yeah.
watched your video and learned this from it and now we slammed. Or you gave a good fishing report and I went to that area and got it. And it's an excellent feeling to be able to support the community because usually it falls into one of two sides. You either have the super toxic kind of fishermen that have been doing it their whole lives and they don't want to help anybody no matter what. And then you have people that are out there and they're like, look, like I don't mind giving you the insight to it. Like I may not
Yeah.
give you like my go-to reef number,
Yeah.
or I may not tell you like, hey, this is how I win the White Marlin Open.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you like, hey, this is how you're going to improve what you're currently doing.
Yeah. When it comes to bottom fishing numbers, those are gold mines. So good luck. But
So where'd you guys catch that tile fish the other day?
that's when you get the response in the water. Yeah. That's like you said, they have tails. They're gone. Like they're coming in waves and they're like they might park it for a little bit into a certain ledge or a certain area, but like you said, trying to give them the point and shoot. If I had to troll 3 lures forever or 3 baits forever, it'd probably be a cedar plug, a naked ballyhoo, and a DTX. You troll those 3 things off there, like you're gonna catch fish. Like absolutely.
Plus, the networking helps. Like, if I tell a guy how we made out yesterday, and then he's going tomorrow, and I'm not going tomorrow because I'm going to be at work, and then he messages me and is like, hey, I either did really good here or I didn't catch anything here, then I know to adjust
Yeah.
my my scope of where I'm going the next couple days. I'm still going to be doing my research, be doing SST charts, looking at
Yeah.
everything, conditions, quality, plankton, currents, the whole works. But I'm also going to take that into scope as long as like I know that they were legitimately like fishing. If they were
For
out
sure.
there trying to troll with a bunch of like pen spin reels, like 6,000 series, it's like, okay, maybe this isn't as feasible as like information. But if it's someone that you know, like they went out there and gave you a valiant chance, they didn't see anything, it's like, okay, I'm going to take this into consideration for the next
Hmm.
trip.
Yeah, and I promise everybody, the big boats, like the private boats, they talk just as much as all the little boats do. So like everybody, it is a network. Like you can't go out there. You can chase the water, but if you're the only guy not talking to nobody, and it's not going to be as effective. Everybody talks. Everybody talks. That's just what I was getting at with it. It's kind of cool. It's harder in the winter. I don't want to say harder, but it's kind of cool being one of the few charter boats that run 24/7 out here, like all year round.
Yeah,
And
because the whole network of big guys usually head South America, at least out of
yeah,
Ripley's. And those
yeah.
big ones are down there chasing billfish for the year, but then they come back this time of year and are getting ready to run.
And they'll hit me up like, "Hey, you've been out here all winter. What have you been seeing?" I'm like, "Hey, I got you. I got
Oh, yeah,
some goodies."
same with us out there. You guys are our first call. Every time we hook up, we're calling you. Every time we hear you say something, it's like, okay, what'd they say? Where are they at?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And people get close, and I also say to anybody, don't just chase a sporty because it's a sporty. Sometimes I'm lost as hell too, but um, like if people are in the same area, like I'll reach out to them and be like, "Hey, have you seen anything over there? No, like cool, come on over here because the water's warm." And I'll call people in. Like we're all out there for the same objective: catch some fish, have a good day, and come on back.
Now, with that same thing, if you see someone hooked up to something big, stay out of the way.
Go away, go
Yeah.
away. Wait
we
for the
were
road.
we were chunking yellowfin tuna up in New Jersey, and we hooked up. And we had a boat that pulled up less than 5 minutes from our transit while we were 3 days hooked up. It was just like, what are you doing, man? Like, come in after the fish are in the boat. Like,
Yeah.
you literally, I could have jumped onto his boat. If I was that guy from Florida, I would have been.
I was just gonna say, story's starting to sound really similar right now.
We were hooked up though. Totally different story. We're not claiming to be the best.
Yeah.
We're not out there 300 days a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Trolling etiquette. If you see everybody on the weed line going one direction, don't be that one clown going against them. If you don't be that bully too. If you do hook up, like generally you peel off, kind of let everybody keep moving. Don't just park it or just put everybody's drag on lock and just keep moving. just
A
let
lot
everybody.
of times, if we see tons and tons of people just beating down a spot, we'll go a quarter mile outside of them because they're pushing the fish away too. Like fish
Yep.
don't want to see 10 spreads going past them every 5 minutes.
Yep. Oh, DTX. A cedar plug.
Well, now everyone's just cedar plugs. Adderall's gonna be sold out.
It was funny last year because pink was hot in the spring for us. My pink teaser was getting beat up. Pink chuggers. I love the soft chugger heads too. It's not. I don't only pull cedar plugs, but early season you don't know what the mahis are keyed up on. So you got blacks, you got reds, you got purples, you got pinks, and we started finding out the pink was like that was it. That's all they wanted. So damn near everything in the spread was pink. And then I wrote a I wrote a post about the pink chugger head and put like 15 mahis with pink sugar heads hanging out of their mouth. Hadrils was literally sold out like 2 days later. And Chase from Hadrils was like, can you not? I'm like, well, that's actually good for you guys. But he's like, well, now I don't have pink chugger heads for me.
We kill it on pink down here as well.
Pink's good.
Yeah.
And same with blue and white. Blue and white is really delivering down here. I know a lot up north is dark purple, lots of greens. Up here, we get some bites on dark purple. We get some bites on greens, squid color stuff. But pink and light blue is by far, and glow. Like you get side trackers and glow, man. You can't keep the water.
My favorite side tracker when I was pulling them on the Sea Fox was the zucchini, like green and brown. That was a cool one, but I changed the stinger bait to a completely different. It was just like a rainbow color, and that was kind of a gold mine for a while. That was pretty cool.
That's a standard we do on every single like spreader bar or wide trackers, different color stinger. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's just something that's like, hey, I think they would like it more. I'm not a biologist or anything,
yeah,
but it
exactly.
seems to
It
work,
it's
and once
having,
it works,
like I said earlier, it's just having the confidence in your spread. Like if you think your spread, like you don't even know what the hell you're doing out there, but you're like the spread's looking pretty, just keep running with it until you actually get a change of pace. Like they're hitting on all pink or something. The Fathom, like for me and the Fathom stuff, like I have confidence in it, and they're great people, great company, and I just pull the crap out of Fathom. There was one day Lance jumped on the boat. He's like, because I forget which company he uses a lot. The Florida guy with like the silver head and the it's like another Islander, but not that company. He's like, where'd all these go? I'm like, sorry, Lance. Like, I just started pulling all my crap. But if you're in the zone, like you're gonna get bit. Like you said, a hungry fish is gonna eat, and then just having your confidence for your social media photos with the chugger head hanging out of his mouth, and you get a little extra thumbs up about it.
oh yeah, for sure. Now, what size ballyhoos are you guys usually going for? Are you using the small ones? Are you using the big ones, mediums, selects?
You know what?
I personally have a lot of luck on mediums and smalls
Mhm.
around here. I
Yep.
know a lot of guys are like selects or nothing,
Yep.
but I find it hard to justify like a $30 pack of poor ballyhoo for
For
some
Mahi.
mahi.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, you can't go wrong with the mediums. I do like the smalls too, especially on my longs. If I am fishing, like targeting tunas, I like a naked ballyhoo way out there. Just like you said, I don't do the split bill or haven't, but I know that would be effective on the longs too on a small ballyhoo with those tunas that are being kind of finicky. And like you said, tone down the fluoro to like 60 pound, and then just remind your mate that they can't put as much heat on them when it comes to the end game. That's really all it is, just that communication. But yeah, I think last year we went through 4 cases of mediums and 2 cases of smalls, but I bumped up the small case a little bit because a lot of people use them for dink baits for sales as well. So I'm trying to, like I said earlier in the season, when the mahis are like hopefully beating us to the ground, they're getting some good reps in circle hook fishing.
Awesome. And now, do you guys have any dates available coming up anytime soon that that you want to plug? I know there's a lot of guys that are itching, especially seeing your post yesterday. You guys slammed them.
Yeah.
Fish are here. You're still getting wahoo. You're getting mahi. You're getting tuna. Like now is the time. If
Yeah,
you are in the southeast, you need to contact Chase. If you don't already have a boat to get out there with these guys because the fish are here. Like, and as the days go, the more mahi mahi are coming. I know I've been on your boat plenty of times where we could have sunk the boat mahi. Like there were times when like we were riding back with mahi on the deck because the fish boxes were full. I'm sure now with the Viking, you guys have much larger boxes, gill bags, and stuff like that. But now is the time if you want to go out and have these double-digit days. Like these next 5 6 weeks are your time to go.
gonna
Like, if you
fire
don't live in
off.
the area and you're looking to do it, fly down here and do it. If you
Yep,
are in the area and you want to do it, come on out here. When
yep.
are the dates that you guys have available? I know you're probably booked pretty solid for a lot of the season because it's no secret the fish are in here so thick. You don't have to run crazy far, 50, 60 miles. You guys are in them. You guys have AC, couches, TV, music, of course. You guys are huge proponents of loud music, whether people like it or not. And what he's got a funny story about that. I'm not sure if he wants to get into it, but
Uh,
these guys love music. I was on their boat before, and as soon as they fired up the boat, they got the radio was on full blast, it's scaring everybody out of their skin. Um, but what dates do you have offhand that you guys have room, whether for full charter or just walk-on days? And how do people get a hold of you the fastest and the best to make sure they lock these down? Because you guys are going to be filled with fish here
it's gonna be
soon.
crazy.
Everybody
Yeah,
dreams of it.
yeah. So I may have one, maybe two walk-on charters during May. One because 90% of the dates that I have booked are repeats because they love fishing with us. And like I said, I got I don't know the exact dates, and I'm on my phone right now with y'all, but I know I have
We'll
some
post them up.
Sundays. I have some Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays available. I think every Friday, Saturday's gone. A bunch of Wednesdays are gone. It's from the 18th I think that weekend I have 2. Then that week of the 20th or so of April, I'm pretty open. But after the 25th, it's like I said, it's pretty full throttle. But follow the walk on page, because when I do blast, I know that that's gonna fill out so fast. I already have some prior walk on guys that don't want to do a private trip. That they're like, when are we gonna do one? When are we doing? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm pretty booked up, but just pay attention. It's called Walk On Charters, and then Last Cast inside of it. Last Cast Charleston. Follow that for sure. If you want a walk on seat, like, it's literally going to be the last 2 of Last Cast probably history. So um, that'll be huge. But on the website, if you try to book now, it'll show all the dates that are blacked out. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Anything I make on the Walk On Charter page, I normally transfer over to our actual Facebook post as well, and I'll screenshot our the announcements and put them on our Instagram stories as well. I kind of blast it around, and if you can't get with me on a trip, I know like some awesome dudes, and I wouldn't recommend people to just nobodies and people that are just trying to fill their boat. People that I would go fishing with, I would have a beer with type guys that are also fishy guys as well. I'm definitely not the best in Charleston, but we have a really good time.
And what kind of stuff should they bring? Obviously, no
Yep.
coolers.
Yeah.
What do they
You can
need
bring
to
your
be prepared?
bring your cooler. Like I always suggest a sun shirt, some type of SPF shirt. I like the hooded ones. Some sunscreen. Please no spray sunscreen. One, it just stinks, and 2, it can mess with the gel coat a bit. Um, just bring food and drink. We supply water. We got pillows. We got blankets if it gets too cold because the AC is rolling in here. Um, and yeah, bring your beer. Have a good time. Please no bottles. I know that Jim Boone crew, I even told them, but is what it is. Yeah, please no bottles, just because if you smash it in barefoot. I honestly suggest shoes, not sandals. You're gonna do what you want to do. I get it. But Wahoo have teeth. Mahi flip it around and beat the snot out of everybody. I mean, we have a really good track record for safety and no injuries and stuff, which I pride myself in. And yeah, just bring a good attitude. Sometimes it's slow, and we're gonna have fun dragging baits and cranking music, like you said.
And leave that shitty gear at home. Stellas are better. You
Yeah,
got
leave.
Stellas or you got something like that, bring it. If it's not, like, they got you.
Yeah, we have a really good equipment. We fish. I don't. They're not Talicas and Stellas. However, for what we do, we got the Tyranoses on some star rods. Some guys actually making us some custom rods right now, which I'm pretty excited about. You got to see him the other day, Nate.
Yeah, Chuck is a great guy. What's the name of his rod company?
I'd have to look it up. Like, it's either CI Customs or CL Customs. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Chuck. You can post it later. But really cool dude. He's a tugboat guy, and he's like, "Hey, I see you guys tearing them up, and I would like to get my rods out there. So, can I?" They're lending, and not like giving us a set, but he's lending us a set for the rest of the season, and hopefully we don't snap them, or if we do, we find the weak point, and he rebuilds something cooler. But
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you on, man. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you guys out there again before you're out of here for a while, and whenever we can reconnect when you're coming back for your charters that you're going to fly back in for. Certainly, let us know. It's always a pleasure hanging out and talking to you, and I'm sure I'll run into you at Hatterell's every time I go. Still,
Yeah.
even once after you move, you're going to be driving down here to go to Hatterell's.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be rigger to rigger offshore soon enough, my man.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you again. Last Cast Charleston guys, reach out to these guys. They are a phenomenal time. They slay the fish, and these next couple months are just going to be picture after picture of them. With fish, if you don't book with them and you're fishing in the area, you're going to be sorry. They got a beautiful boat, the best guys in the industry, personal friends of mine, an absolute phenomenal time. And they catch a ton of fish.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem, Chase. Have a great day, man.
Chase.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'll show you.